everybody, and welcome to Ukulele Underground's Friday podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, and I'm joined here by Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
I'm also joined by Kahai, the legend Furigan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
And joining us, special guest, Magic Mike Odo.
Hey, everyone. Magic, illusions, magic. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Aloha Friday podcast. I already lost it. I'm at home, and but the guys are in the office. They're having some fun. They're filming it up. As from what I heard everything went well, and we're very excited. And I know I keep saying that to show you guys what we have in store, but as you can see, we're still filming stuff, so we can't really show it to you because we're making it right now. So. And that's why Mike has been at the office so much, because he's busy. He's filming it up, right? Can you share a little bit of what's something that you can kind of just give us a taste, like a moose boosh of of what's in store for the people at Ukulele Underground for what we're doing.
Well, personally, for me, music nerdism. Oh, so if you're a music nerd, you will love what I do.
Oh, all right, okay. It's a nice little, it's a taste, just a nice little, it's a lick of that ice cream,
Exactly, just a little,
soft serve, just the top coat, just a chocolate coating on top of it. But
the hit of that Szechuan sauce.
Okay, so this is the Aloha. No, it's the Ukulele Underground podcast. My God. And I'll explain why my head is so hazy. Yes, this is the Ukulele Underground podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. This is where we A all your cues. We're going to A all of them. Okay, so we're going to answer all of your questions, whatever questions you guys may have. You can give it to us via this is live. This is a live podcast, so you guys can ask us questions live. We'll answer your questions then. You guys can email us questions. You guys can text us. If you guys have Mike's number, you can call him up during the show and ask us questions there. But however we may get questions, I'll try to give you my best 2 cents. Mike will give you his best 2 cents. So will Kahai and Aaron will give you the best 8-cent answer that we can possibly provide for you. But just a little bit of explanation. Sorry there was no podcast last week. Last week there's no podcast. I was out sick. I mean, that's just the long story short. I was out sick, and story time to just kind of explain to you folks what happened and why I'm still at home. On Wednesday it was just pouring. It was just storming. Like, it was just storming on Wednesday, and I don't know, like, we're like, Aaron and I are like gluttons for pain, and we're kind of workaholics. So we have a show that we play at every Wednesday. And they even, and we got there, and it's pouring, and we're like, okay, well, we got to get all this sound equipment, we got to get it to the, to the restaurant, to the Oasis where we play at. So, Aaron grabbed the dolly, and we're loading our stuff. It's raining, and I had nothing on, but like. How should I had nothing on? I had a jacket, I had a hoodie. I had a hoodie on. That's all I had. Shoes that I just got too. I was kind of bummed because I just got those shoes, and it's like raining and it's muddy, and it's all these puddles and stuff, and and some jeans, and although the hoodie is a pretty heavy hoodie, it just weighed down. Like when I washed it the next day, like my wife was like, "This feels like 3 hoodies is what I'm wearing, what I'm holding." And that was like the next day, So, so I got rained on, and underneath that hoodie, I was wearing the kanile button-up shirt, the polo shirt, which is basically nothing, and I got soaked through. Like, needless to say, I got soaked through. And the people at the restaurant, they're like, hey, if you guys like want to go home, like, you can go home. If you don't have to play. It's like the place that we played at, like the area that we played at the restaurant, it was soaked. There was puddles and stuff where we were playing at. I was kind of worried for Aaron's sound system because Aaron, we were using his sound system for that, for that particular gig. For those of you folks who don't know, that's like the PA system, the speakers, the mixer where we plug in and stuff. Basically electronics, and there's like puddles everywhere. I was kind of worried, but Aaron's like, nah, it's fine. So I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I guess I'll play it too. And they're like, so the restaurant's like, okay, I guess. And we thought we weren't gonna get anybody because it was pouring. And there's like, we have a relatively older crowd that comes to watch us play. So we're kind of like, there's definitely nobody coming because no one wants to get sick in this crazy rain. But apparently we have crazy supporters that'll go out in the heavy rain to come out and see us, and we're talking like we have 80 something year olds that come to watch us every week on the weekly, and we love them so much for it, and they came, and I'm just like, I have to play now, like I can't not play when this 80-year-old couple is here sitting down and wanting to see us play. So I'm like, if I'm a 30-something, I should be able to get through this, right? So I did the gig, and I felt fine during the show, and then I came home like, man, I should just take a shower. But the show's like 2 hours, 3 hours, so I was soaked and just my body just taking in, absorbing all that whatever, all that rainwater into my pores and into my body. I wasn't smart like Aaron, who put something on that wasn't like cloth that would just absorb the rain. It was just like, what were you wearing, Aaron? It was like some kind of, or did you have like a raincoat?
Yeah, it was just a coat, but even that, it wasn't waterproof.
Yeah, but it was still one of those that it was better than absorbing all that stuff, So I don't know. And then that night I took a warm shower, but I think it did enough already. So I went to bed, and then the next day I woke up with a fever, so I had a cold, and that lasted till. Maybe Saturday I had the full-on cold, like the chills, the aches, all that stuff. And then Saturday I'm all good. Monday I felt a tickle in the back of my throat, and seasonally I get these sinus infections anyway. I don't know why, but it's around this time. So I felt this tickle in the back, so I did the whole nasal rinse thing or whatever still, and I got the fever again. I'm like, oh no. So I'm taking all these medications, and then Wednesday comes in. I'm like, I have to play, I have to play that Wednesday because there's all these people that want to come. So I'm drugging myself up with all these, all these cold medicines or whatever kind of medicines I could think of, but the fever just wouldn't go down. I was at maybe the highest I saw was 101.5. It was kind of high. So I'm just like, I can't go. For the sake of the 80-year-olds who are coming to see me, I don't want to get them infected as well. I might be able to be okay if I go. I might just push it, but there's people who come and I don't want to get them sick. So just, and I was getting aches and stuff anyway. So I decided not to do that. But so I went to go see a doctor. Now I'm taking some a Z-Pak, which I guess is for the infection. And then yesterday I did the open mic from home, and now I'm here at home. I'm feeling a little bit better. It's my third or fourth, third day on some meds and stuff, and I'm on the up and up, everybody. But it's just I don't want to. I'm still contagious because it is an infection, and I don't want to get the guys sick or anything like that. I have a slight stuffy nose, a small stuffy nose, I guess, just in the sinus side. Hopefully I don't cough. Hopefully the medicine keeps the cough at bay. But other than that, I'm okay. But that's the reason for my absence, if anybody was wondering. So now let's kind of stop talking about it. there's the long 10-minute explanation as to why I wasn't here last week, and why or why we didn't have a podcast at all last week, and why we're having the podcast this week, and why I'm here at home and Mike is sitting in the hot seat. Right, Mike? Thank you, by the way, for taking over the hot seat, man. It's usually Aaron there in the hot seat, and he has to do the whole 6 cent thing,
I'm not very good. Mike's pretty good.
Dude, you nailed it. You nailed it on the first one, man. You nailed it. Good job. So thank you.
I
Mike,
have sat next to you enough to listen to get the intro.
To know what the intro is.
I think-
right on.
Yeah, but me and Aaron have been doing we've been
so.
on most of the shows, right? Like, if not all of them, and we should know that. I couldn't do that. So, yeah, that was pretty impressive.
That's true. I would like to see Kahai in the hot seat. Like, I think Kahai is the only person who's not been in the hot seat so far. But all right, so
You don't know.
What?
You don't get to see Bigfoot for free. You gotta pay.
I know we saw a sighting. I think a couple weeks ago, right? We saw a sighting.
Yeah.
in the
Just
back.
blurry and fast, in and out.
The best thing about that is that when you did walk through, it was basically exactly like the famous Bigfoot video, sideways, just walking through
Did
the
you watch the
camera.
replay? Did you see it?
I did.
Did you put
I
a
also saw the
timestamp on
thumbnail.
it, Kahai?
I don't think I did, but I tried to, I made it like a black silhouette so you couldn't see.
Oh yeah, don't put a timestamp on it. So people were just gonna have to scrub through the whole thing. You gotta watch the whole episode to see Bigfoot. Okay, so before we get to the questions, I have one more piece of business to get to. So I have a friend who's an ukulele player friend. I actually have lots of friends who are ukulele player friends, and but this particular person lives in the UK. Okay, and I want to get this person on the podcast, but apparently, at 1 o'clock here Hawaii time is not very friendly to the people in the UK. It's not a very convenient
It's
time.
1 a.m.
Yeah, convenient time for them. So this person has asked to be on the podcast, but in order for that to and I want this person to be on the podcast, but in order for that to happen, we have to push the podcast a little bit earlier just for that day. So if that's okay with everyone, we're gonna be doing that. So it's going to be Cinco de Mayo, that's Cinco de Mayo. And we're gonna push it down to 11 o'clock, so 2 hours earlier, if that's okay with everybody. Is that okay with you, Kahai? Is that okay with you, Aaron?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but I just wanted to make it kind of public so that everyone is aware that May 5th, we're going to be doing the podcast. We're going to be doing a podcast. I don't know what week that is. It's either a podcast or a jam, but I guess it's going to be a podcast now. So podcast on that week, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. Hawaii time. So mark your calendars. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, is going. We are going to be joined by Sammy Turton from the UK, 4-string boy as he's known online, magician on the ukulele, magician of the of harmonics, magician of finger picking. He's got songs. He's got an album coming out. So just I want to support the guy. He's a good dude. He's a very nice fella, and I think he plays really well. We could really learn a lot from him. I have tons of questions for him because I'm also interested in his and the way that he plays his attack on the strings. He uses a very unique way of using a pick. So I'm so excited to have him. May 5th. It's going to be 11 a.m. Please tune in for that episode with Sammy Turton. Okay, so mark your calendars. May 5th, 11 a.m. Ukulele on the Ground podcast featuring our special guest Sammy Turton. So now, without further ado, Kahai, give us the first question. For gosh sakes, it's 15 minutes into the podcast. Let's answer some questions, baby.
Okay, Jaden said, can the classical guitar D string be used as a low G string?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, next question. No, it is. I have used a D string for my low Gs since like high school. I've been using it for a long time. it's relatively close in intention, as long as it's like, you know, it's like a tenor that you're using it on, and then it's not like a soprano. But even then, I think I've used it on sopranos, but don't take my word for it, you know. Like, I don't want to, you know, that was my risk to take. It worked for me, but I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't suggest it. It does work, but I don't know what kind of damage that it's done to my ukulele in the long run. But I can say safely, for tenors, it is fine to use a classical guitar D string for your low G string on a tenor ukulele.
What are the equivalent strings that you would use
Okay, so classical guitars,
for ukulele? Either high G or low G.
you have to get high tension strings though. So that's the thing, you know, with it. I get high. I think for classical guitar strings, you know, I used Savarez and I used Diodarios. So for those two, it's usually extra high tension. For the ukulele CEA, you can take the guitar GBE and use them for your CEA on the ukulele.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
but it's going to be high tension GBE for the CEA on your tenor ukulele. If you want a high G, take the extra high tension GBE, extra high. So for the GBE, and then high tension for the high G. You're going to be using a high tension E string, classical guitar E string, for a high G ukulele. Does that make sense? So you would need, if you want a high G set, you would need to take 2 packs of classical guitar strings, 1 extra high tension and 1 high tension, just to take the E string. But if you got a buddy like Mike Odo, who's willing to sell you just an individual E string, you know, and they do sell those. If you want to just buy individual E strings, they do sell those online, so you can just get that, so you don't have to waste your money. That's my usual setup back in the day. It's the high tension E string and extra high tension GBE for the GCEA on my ukulele. Okay? If you're looking for a low G for your ukulele, one set is fine of high tension DGBE. Okay? You're gonna put them on your tenor ukulele and tune them. So for those people who are confused, you're gonna tune them GCEA, but you're using the strings DGBE from the guitar. Slap them on your tenor ukulele and tune them to GCEA. I don't know if I can make it any clearer than that.
Which also, by the way, works wonderfully for baritone ukulele.
Yes, but you
Because that's how I have my baritone. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, just tune it to
Just tune
DGBE. Yeah.
to the correct notes.
Because that's what I have. I have extra high tension Diodario Pro Artes on my baritone.
Yeah. So
Which is an interesting one because most baritones don't have a wound. Most baritone sets have a wound D and G string, and classical guitars don't. So it's almost like the feel of it. It's weird to have a baritone with an unwound G string, but I like it because it really ups the tension and the feel of the string, so it doesn't feel so floppy.
Yeah. It's because usually the baritone strings are a little bit lower tension, so the high tension but classic guitar strings should work out just. Oh, I think it works a little bit better. That's what I use in mine also.
Yeah, and then emphasis on the classical guitar.
Yeah, classical guitar.
You're not going to use
Acoustic,
steel string,
not acoustic steel strings.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Or electric guitar strings. Yeah,
You will break your ukulele.
Please don't.
I think if you're unsure, like, just the best bet is go to a music store like Mike's Music Store, right? And do you guys have like just extra guitar strings?
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah, we sell individuals.
Yeah.
I think most music stores, right? Like if you go and you ask them, do you have single classical guitar strings or do you have these strings? They'll help you too. And that's the best bet, so you don't use the wrong strings or string up with the wrong strings. But if you're gonna try, just buy a pack online or something, make sure you use the 4 thinnest strings in the guitar pack. Don't use the thick strings. The thick strings are the ones that you don't use for ukulele. So that's just how you do it. But then safest bet.
Just buy ukulele strings. 'Cause they were formulated for ukulele.
Yeah, I think and then it's like that is like if you're gonna buy guitar strings and not use two anyways, and you wanna try and use guitar strings, go to a music shop, right? And they should have
they have
where you can
single
try.
strings that you can pick out.
So if you live on Kauai, you can come see me. If not, just wherever we happen to be.
Your local music shop.
Yeah.
I think if they still live in Seattle or something, they should come see you, Mike.
Fly all the way to Kauai just to get Mike.
Can I get one guitar string, please? That's it. That's all I want.
Okay, I gotta catch a flight. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've had tons of visitors now, right? Like coming down and like, hey, are you Mike from,
It's happened more and more frequently, yes.
Do you like it? Do you like getting recognized, Mike? You do. I bet you do. I bet you do. You
It's
love
fun.
it. You love it, Mike. Why I
It's
am.
fun, especially. Actually, my favorite one is when people come in and they're familiar with the website, but not me. But when I tell them you're playing somewhere, then they flip out and they want to go see you.
Oh, nice. And then they're like, "Oh, sorry, he's not here. He's sick today." I'm like, what? Mike lied to
one
me.
time.
Yeah, one time a year.
I'm actually scared of some. I'm actually afraid of that this week. I think I sent like 5 different people to your show.
I'm sorry. See,
The last two-
that's
yeah,
why I'm
this-
like, maybe I
this
should have
last
just dragged my body there and just, and just played.
Tell them to put up the plexiglass
Just
shield.
for-
I
yeah.
guess so, Like, but
I don't know. It was pretty rainy too, man. If you're sick now, there was a lot of rain on
Yesterday?
Wednesday. You would have just made it worse.
I don't know. I just slept all day, like that Wednesday, just because.
Wednesday was pretty rainy.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to like get better as fast as possible, and I'm like, and that's actually the best excuse because I've been kind of like, with the new kid, like sleep has been kind of rare. So I'm like, hey, Heather, I'm sick, so I'm just gonna okay. So it's been
And
been
it's
great.
practical too. Obviously, if you're sick, you don't want to be around a newborn.
Yes,
Absolutely.
That's it.
You are being mindful of your family.
Still had to take care of the baby. That's not an excuse. I still had to perform my fatherly duties. But yeah. So next question, Kaha.
Okay. So this one is from Dano.
I know.
And they asked, question for Aldrine. How many t-shirts do you have in your collection? I thought mine was impressive, but wow, you're at another level. And then he had a follow-up question. He said, do you have a rotation system so you don't wear the same t-shirt over and over?
I don't. I just, whatever's clean, whatever, I'm like, I think I'll wear that today and stuff. But like, I do have lots of t-shirts. It's just the most comfortable for me. Like, I just, and I think that's been my thing. Like, I have just not been afraid to just wear whatever feels comfortable. A lot of people like will be like, oh, I have this kind of get up, and this is like my my uniform. I'm gonna wear this and this shirt and whatever. We have Ukulele on the Ground shirts, and I do wear them, sometimes. And there's Kanilea, like the polo and whatever. I'll wear that too. But for the most part, I'll wear whatever is comfortable, and I will put on like my body whatever I feel like I should put on. If it's going to be a video game reference, if it's going to be some kind of food, if it's a bonsai tree, whatever it may be, like I just put it out there. And it's usually whatever I'm into at the moment, and as far as how much shirts I have, it's too much to count. Like, I've retired a lot of them, and some of my favorites I have had to retire. I think if you ask me some of my favorites, there's one of my favorite one back then was I used to have this black and white shirt, this black shirt, and it came from just like a loot crate. Like, I had Loot Crate, and it came from a Loot Crate. It was a skull, but if you looked at it, the skull was made out of like kittens, like white kittens, and it was a skull made out of white kittens. It was like one of my favorites. I had to retire that. There's a white shirt that I had, which is like it was like an astronaut on it, like pulling a space shuttle. What else is I've had tons of
I think I had
favorite
one
shirts.
like yours,
Oh,
the
yeah?
skull, but it was all Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh, I've had tons of like
Mike's
wrestling shirts.
collection is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
as
I got
well.
a Mega Man shirt on right now.
Yeah, my thing is like I am the type of person like you'll probably see me wear the same shirts a lot, mostly because I'll wash them and put them in the pile, and then since they're at the top of the pile, I'll just grab them again.
Yeah, I mean, just whatever's clean, I'll just I'll just grab. I know, like I've had some weeks where like you wore that same shirt last week, and it's like it's probably my laundry's probably full on Saturday, so I wash clothes on Saturday, and come Friday, I'm like, hey, that looks like a nice shirt to wear.
That's what's there.
You know what I mean? I'm just wear whatever's comfortable, even on stage. I think on stage recently, I've been trying to like dress a little bit nicer because I'm a lot older now. I'm not like some 20-something-year-old who are just like wearing whatever like graphic tee with like with what did I used to wear there?
The flannel.
The flannel with like,
flannel.
a graphic tee. That was like my stage wear back then. I was like in Thailand, it was like 100 degrees, and I'm like, no, this is my look.
yeah. Commit to the bit.
I'm committing to the bit, because if I'm on tour, if I'm in Thailand, I have to be in character, right? Like, but if I'm just out in town, or if I'm just doing a podcast or doing a Aloha Friday, and just wear whatever's comfortable. But I'm in character. I'm in uniform, so I have to. I had to commit to the bit.
Kayfabe.
Exactly. You know what I mean? The cabbie like slams the door in your hand. If you're a wild Samoan, you're a wild Samoan. You just gotta make like it doesn't hurt.
Nope.
All right. So next question.
Andre said, I haven't played a ukulele or a guitar for 2 weeks now, and my beautiful calluses are peeling off. Can I play it again with no problem? Beauty tips for prevention or so?
They'll come back. Don't worry. If you miss them, they'll come back. And if you have them, and if it's only 2 weeks, it's not that bad. It'll hurt maybe like the first day or two, but it'll come right back. And I think it'll hurt mostly just because like your fingers haven't touched an ukulele for a while, or guitar for a while. But other than that, it should be okay. The calluses, they're not, they definitely protect on the left hand, but they're not that, like necessary so that you have like a you can play without them. Is what I'm trying to say here. Yeah. And as far as like how do you like beauty tips, I don't have any of that. Please give me some. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. You know what I mean? Like I need some beauty tips. Like I need to get some blemishes off my face and stuff. Like,
I'd probably say if you don't have any nail or skin hanging off your fingernails, you're probably okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like my calluses are always peeling off.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
They grow, and then like the outer layer just peels off naturally, so there's still like
It's probably big. Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's like you gain the calluses by all the abrasion on your fingers.
Yeah.
And then even after that, you still have all the abrasion on your fingers. Your strings don't, like the strings of your guitar, don't become softer because you have callus.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of doing that whole same thing of like grinding on your fingertips.
Yeah.
Also, before we move on to the next question, usually I don't know if somebody might call me out for this and stuff, but usually I take Good Friday off. But I usually take Good Friday off is because we have Aloha Friday Live Jam. And it's just kind of, I know it's going to sound weird and ridiculous, but it's against my religion to like have fun on Good Fridays, like, or make music and sing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
so podcast is not fun.
Podcast it's informative. It's okay. It's the loophole. I'm doing my job. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're not singing. We're not like the.
No reverie here.
Yeah, no reverie. There you go. The Lord's dying.
He didn't
today,
want.
Okay, at 3
He
o'clock,
wanted
in about
so.
an hour and a half, the Lord's about to die. Okay, like no singing, Mike.
He wanted so little fun that he had me do the intro.
Yeah.
That the intro's fun.
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah.
want to do that
Yeah.
either. That's how dedicated he is.
But
You
I
get
don't
a
know.
pass, Aldrine.
Yeah, there you go. But like in my haze of like my sick haze, my wife this morning was like, oh, we're just gonna get something to eat instead of like a cooked breakfast this morning, and I'm just like kind of tired. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, yeah, whatever. It's like, oh, what do you want? I'm like a local deluxe. I'm like, yeah, sure. And as I'm eating it, I'm like, oh my god, the holiest of holy Fridays! I'm eating the spams in my mouth. Oh Oh no!
You're gonna have to repent.
I know it's a
It's all-
hell-worthy trespass.
It's all about forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why he died today. This is for my
Exactly.
just so that I can eat spam on a Good Friday.
I know a local Deluxe. Don't tell me you didn't eat the Portuguese sausage.
Oh yeah,
There's
I mean,
Portuguese sausage and spam.
Wow, calling me out.
only because I love that too. I love the local Deluxe.
I haven't eaten one of those in a long time either. I miss
yeah.
those.
Yeah, it's been a few hours for me. So I'm just like, you know what? I God would want me to finish this, so I ate the whole thing.
I think it's bad to waste food
Right,
too.
especially on a Good Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway, so moving next question, guys. Sorry, we're a little break there. Go ahead.
Okay.
Next question.
Hopefully this makes sense.
Okay.
Ratesh said, question for Magic Mike. I am yet to play a Kamaka Pineapple where the F note is not muted. Has he ever played one where all notes ring out? And I asked him if he meant like the F note on the E string, but he said it's the A string.
Oh, that's a dressing problem.
So possibly,
yeah.
but the other possibility it could be is so on acoustic instruments there are things either dead spots or wolf tones is what we call it in classical string instruments. And basically what happens is on certain instruments, because of the way they're constructed and the resonance of the instrument itself, there can be certain points on your fingerboard where basically the vibrations kind of clash and they cancel each other out. So for example, on my primary bass, my Fender Jazz, and this is very common on Fender Jazz basses, the C on my G string, the top string, the highest string, sustains literally like half of what all the other notes would do. And so there's almost no way to fix that because there's no way to fix that outside of making sure the wood doesn't do that before you build the ukulele, which is then not possible because you only hear the problem once it's happened. So on like my double bass, it's usually around the 12th fret of the A string. So when you play, instead of coming out nice and even, it kind of growls at you. Hence why we called it a wolf tone. On fretted string instruments, it usually just means that there's just no sustain. And he said the F on the A string, right?
Yeah.
So that's about right. It usually happens right around the middle of the neck, somewhere between maybe like the 5th and the 8th, 9th fret. Somewhere around there is usually where it ends up. So the only thing you can do is change the resonance of the neck. Now, the only way to do that after you've built the ukulele is attach something onto it that actually changes where the resonance point is. So
Like
for
the
those of
fat
you
finger,
who know
like
weird guitar gadgets, you
fat
may be
finger.
familiar with something that was like, the fat finger. It was like it's just a big, heavy piece of metal where you clamped it onto the headstock. And basically what that does is it moves the resonant point toward the heavy thing. So if you're lucky, then what happens is the resonant point moves off the fingerboard and onto the headstock where it's not going to make a difference to you. So you might try that just as an experiment. Get all the clip-on tuners you have and clip them all onto your headstock and then try play that note and see if it actually improves it or not. Because it actually might. If not, you probably just want to find something to clip onto the headstock that's a little bit denser and heavier. Hence, like the fat finger was basically like it looked like a clip-on tuner, but it was made out of metal and wasn't a tuner. It was just a big block of metal that you stuck to the head. But it would, for like guitars, like Fender guitars especially, it would fix that dead spot at that 5th fret and pull it all the way to like on the other side of the nut.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That honestly, that's probably what you'd have to do in order to fix that. Outside of some gnarly like alterations to your ukulele, like I mean, if you took it to somebody who can pull the fingerboard off and like install things like graphite rods in it that changes the resonance of the neck, that could fix it. But man, that's some heavy duty. That's a heavy duty operation there.
Yeah, I used to
know?
use the fat finger on my on my Ovation ukulele. I used to have an Ovation, and the sustain was really bad. And I heard sustain, like it was a sustain enhancer is what it was like, what it was advertised as. I used it and it worked out just fine. And I've heard of like the G, like the dreaded like G note on the Fender Jazz basses, and that's kind of where I heard it from. And I think Jake told me about it, or I saw like a video of Jake with the thing on. I'm just like, what the heck is that clampy thing? Oh, sorry about that, clampy thing on his headstock, and that's kind of how I found out about it. And it was perfect because I was like, at the time when I saw that video, I was playing an Ovation and it worked out just fine. But it stayed with my Ovation because once I switched off to my Kamaka or Ukulele, I kind of stopped using it. I tried to use it, thought it made a difference, but took it off. It didn't really make a difference. So it just depends. But
Yeah.
that is, it seems like, because, if you're going to buy a Kamaka pineapple, you just like, okay, well, it should just work. Like, it should just work, right? They should just, the F note should just work. It should just be there. And that's what you expect, because that you're paying quite a premium price for, for just a Kamaka alone, So it seems like a problem.
I know
that
they've actually gone up again.
Oh yeah!
Really?
Oh my gosh! So it seems like that's something that you might want to bring up with Kamaka. Like I don't, so I don't know if Mike has, have you had any experiences with the pineapples?
No, I haven't. I do have a couple Kamaka Sopranos in the store right now, and obviously I don't play every note going up and down every time we get one in, but I'll actually take a look. I guess the question is is this exclusively a pineapple problem, or is this a soprano? I'll go check tomorrow when I go in and see if the soprano that we have has that same issue. If it is, it's most likely just where resonance points are clashing with each other. So technically there's no physical issue with the ukulele. It's more like, unfortunately, just one of those vagaries of using a organic material like wood. You can't really control stuff like that. If there's like a overly or underly dense spot in the neck, honestly, it would be very hard, if not impossible, without like a bunch of like really high-tech equipment to see any of that. And I mean, if anybody's been to the Kamaka factory, they're pretty traditional. So it's obvious that they wouldn't have like a mass spectrometer to see the density layout of a piece of wood before they turn it into a neck, Yeah. And it's one of those things that you won't notice until, like I said, until the thing's built. Like, it's like, how like some guys, they can go around with like the rubber mallet and they just hit pieces of wood and they hear how it resonates and stuff like that. You can do stuff like that, but you can't hit a rubber mallet into a piece of wood at the same resonance of a note being hit like that. So it's not really going to create the same thing, So when you're doing the rubber mallet test, you're going to get a very broad, idea of where resonance and density is. But that type of wolf tone and dead spot, that's a finer thing. And something you can't test until basically the instrument's done. And gosh, once it's done, it's like, you can't, you don't turn around and rip the thing back apart.
Well, see if they're aware of it. Like Ritesh, I would reach out to Kamaka, see if they're aware that there's a problem and stuff, and see what they say to you, because right now, if they're not aware of it, that might be something that they would want to be aware of. If you've experienced more than just one or two, even. So that's what I suggest. Like, so that,
and then it would also
overall.
depend on things like how far apart were the two. If it was two ukuleles, like, were they from this? Because like then you would say like, okay, but they were like 6 months apart, different stores. That would be much more of a thing. If you tried two in the same store that they bought like 5 in a row, then that's a little bit tougher, because that could just mean the koa log that they built all those from is a little. Speaking of Kamakas, by the way, for any of you on Kauai, someone just saw this, but you check this out. We just got a Jake model in. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that didn't go like in a day.
No, it's up there.
Okay, I'll check it out.
A Jake model is the same price as a platinum right now.
Would you be comfortable if I went in with a mask?
I'd be comfortable if you went in without a mask. I don't care.
Dude, yo, you don't want this. You don't want whatever I have, man.
I'll just stand on the other side and hand it to you.
You don't want none of this Dewey.
Yeah, no, it's nice though. It's a nice.
I'll check it out.
I was gonna say like it's not about like Mike catching anything, right? It's about the kayfabe. Like you can't break that. It's like you're buying another like ukulele player's like a pro model, right? It's like, no.
But the Jake model that I mean, of course I've played Jake's uke, but like but also the Jake model that I first played was actually Greg's Jake model, like one of 50 when they had like the lottery, you know. They had a lottery of like they were only gonna make 50 of them, and the people who could buy those 50, you had to win a lottery of, and then and then you won like the privilege of like buying one for $5,000. It's like $5,000 for that. That's back in the day. But I mean, whoever bought one of the 50, I think now I don't know what it would be worth now. I think it'd be it would have been a great investment. So it seemed ridiculous at the time. You know, we're like, oh, I gotta win this and I gotta pay $5,000. But you know, if you have one of those 50. You could sell it easy, I don't know, like $7,000-8,000 like for one of those. I'm guessing, you know, like what, but whoever's willing to pay that, it's only worth whatever someone's willing to pay, of course. But that was like I remember playing one of those and I was like kind of blown away. And it wasn't even like the slotted headstock head, it was just like the Martin style flat, you know, like flat top instead of like the I say Martin style, but it's actually what, like Herb Ota style, the flat headstock, right? We come to find out.
I think it was the first one, yeah.
Yeah, the one that Jake modeled it after is like, oh, can I get like a flat headstock? But it was from Ota-san in that book. I think that Aaron has.
Yeah, it was unfinished.
Yeah, as an unfinished.
They hadn't finished doing the headstock, cutting out the shape of the headstock.
But yeah, all of the Pure Heart like Jake ukuleles have a flat style Kamaka headstock. So that's kind of what they did for the Jake models. I guess V1 Jake models. That's some Red Fontaine stuff, Kai.
Yeah, I like that idea too. That it's like this actually takes us less work because we don't have to cut into the wood. Like we're just basically leaving it as a block, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with Fontaine. It's like this is actually probably the worst Fontaines out there, but they cost $500.
They're $500, dude. They're $500 a deck, and it's like it's worse than bicycles.
I didn't say that. I said that they were the worst Fontaines.
Oh, come at me, bro. Nah, they're great. They're great. I love them. Thank you for my $500 deck, Kai.
Yeah, you don't want to anger the potential future sponsor of the show.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great picture of the I was gonna say that was a great picture for you to freeze on.
Why was I drinking water or something?
In the middle.
Okay, sorry, my internet's kind of weird. Yeah, so like, we did mention the weather is terrible, so and I'm in the back of my house. Yeah. Anyway, next question.
So Edward asked for help with playing the ukulele more, and specifically, he's playing like just down strums. Yeah, like I had to kind of dig a little bit deeper with this. He's just playing down strums, and he wants to play the island strum, and I think he wants to expand on strumming more. Like he wants to get out of just playing down strums. Okay. So he was asking for help with that.
Okay, so let me get my
sign up for Ukulele Underground Plus and get some lessons with that guy.
Private lessons that we can work on it all day, baby.
Or just watch any of our free tutorials, and we usually don't just use down strums only. Yeah.
Or watch the Friday jams, right?
Yeah,
Like
Friday. I mean, any of the songs on Friday Jam, we kind of explain it before every song. Before we play any songs, we explain how you can go from a down strum. So you can think of your down strum as just like your 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So It's all about segments. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's 4 beats in a measure. That's kind of how we block things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how we're segmenting stuff. But you can segment it even smaller, kind of like a big pie. There's 4 pieces of this pie, but you can cut it in 8 pieces. So instead, but it's the same amount of time, 1, 2, 3, 4, but we can cut it in 8, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 m. So in between the numbers, I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4. In between each numbers, I'm saying and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 m. And with those ands, you just add an up strum. So 1 and 2. Because when you're doing down, 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 you have to lift up your hand to do an up strum anyway. Correct? So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't do down and then another down from there. You're not gonna get any strings. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Since when you lift up your hand to do the next down strum on the 1, 2, 3, 4, hit the strings again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or in this way, segmenting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? And then just like how you did it in the beginning, so basically what you're doing is you're missing the strings when you do the down, 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 down. You can do the same thing. You can miss strings again. You don't have to hit all the strings on the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So maybe you're gonna miss the first up. So 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3. You can miss a down strum. So 1 and 3 and 4. So slow, you're probably like, what's going on there? So here's slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. So if we were to take out the second down, if we were to miss, watch my hands. It's still gonna do the same movement. 1 and miss and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4. Now fast, because you can't really hear it unless you play it in tempo. So. Now, the island strum that you're talking about is basically the same down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, except we're missing on specific beats. So, what that is you're missing the first up strum. So, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then you're missing the third beat, I believe. So, 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and down, down, up, up. So here's my down, up, down, up. It's still gonna be doing that. So watch my hand. It's not gonna do anything different. I'm just gonna miss. It's down, up, down, up. Island strum. Down, up, down, up. So you're not doing anything different here other than missing some of those beats. And the best video to watch for this, we have free videos in Ukulele Underground, but there's also a very specific, targeting this kind of thing with Matt Dahlberg. What is it called? That's just strumming, ultimate strumming course, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
With Matt.
Ultimate Ukulele Strumming Course.
Ultimate Ukulele Strumming Course. You can learn that. But that's the basic gist of what that is. If you're doing down, 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 down anyway, just hit the strings going up before you hit them going down. Again, as long as you're in beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the main thing that you need to concentrate on is stay on beats. And if you add the ups as you go up so that you can go back down again, that will be the making the segments smaller. Okay. Yeah. Or just wait for the new version of Ukulele Underground, and we'll explain all of that to you.
Yeah. I think it's kind of hard because it's like I think this is kind of a problem that seems to have a rise after the internet.
Yeah.
Where people are like, how do I strum now? But like while we're growing up, it's like nobody taught you to strum.
Yeah, it's just one of the chords.
Even
now it's one of
chords are more important, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like even where there's people, our friends who are ukulele players, who you'll see that they'll strum up while other people are strumming down. but because they still have the pulse and they still have the
in
beat.
time. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, and
Yeah.
so like all of us, like the strumming, whether you're strumming up or down or anything, it's more about like just feeling
there in
the
the beat.
rhythm of the music. Yeah, and it's kind of funny how like they have the island strum, right? I think that's just like, yeah, we just listen to where it's like emphasized, and we emphasize that too, and it kind of came out to where it's like a pattern, or a lot of people are doing it, but it's not something that we, people sat us down and were like, okay, you're missing this drum exactly, you're playing this drum, you're emphasizing this drum. It's just like, you just feel it, and you just play along.
You
and
listen to the song, and then try to recreate it using whatever strum that you come up with.
and have fun. Just have fun, right?
Yep.
Like, and if you're having fun and it's on time, that's pretty much it. Like, nobody in Hawaii is gonna be like, I think you're strumming it wrong.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're fine.
It's down, down, up, down, up. It's not down, up, down, up, down, up. It's the same thing.
Oh my gosh, you're doing that?
Ew.
You're strumming up?
How dare you
You're
strum
not
up?
authentic.
I'm missing that one, okay? You don't miss it.
I'm totally missing the up.
You're not authentic, man.
And if you think about it, that's probably what makes like, jams and like Hawaii music like interesting, is
Yeah.
because it's like we're not exactly playing the same thing all together.
Yeah.
It's like
And
we're
you
just
you
filling
don't
it in.
really want to.
No,
Yeah.
no. You have to
Yeah,
fill
it'll
in.
sound too monotonous.
And it's kind of like if the uke and the guitar and the drums are all playing the same exact rhythm, it'd be pretty boring. All right, so
That's called the drum circle, right?
even in drum circles, dude, like people are kind of making their own beats and stuff,
Oh yeah.
All right, so
Especially the ones on here.
last question.
Okay. Can we do two real quick?
Sure.
So Joshua said, if you have a tiny crack on the front, is it advisable to glue it?
Depending on how big the crack is, and
No.
I know is usually
it
the
depends on,
question. Yeah, I do know usually the answer. Tiny,
Like I would say is it causing your uke to sound bad? If it sounds okay with the crack, then I don't even that like just
Yeah,
I think the last time we had a question similar to this, the big question was, is it a finish crack or is it a wood crack?
Yeah.
If it's a wood crack, depends. If you hear it buzzing, I mean, that's kind of a sign that it's opening.
Yeah.
But if it's a finish crack, it ain't gonna make a difference.
Yeah. I would just say no. Like I think short answer is no. If you're saying tiny crack, just leave it. It's just more of a. I mean, that's not a crack, but this is it's underneath the pick guard that I have. So I have a clear pick guard on my ukulele. I don't know if you guys can see. Probably not, right? It's clear. It's doing its job. Oh, there. You can kind of see it there. Okay. So the reason why I put this is because this is a cedar top version of the Aldrine model, 1 of 1, and this particular cedar is so soft that like I just went off at it, and then I'm like, oh no, I scratched it up already. So we put this we put this on it, but you can kind of see here. I don't know if you can see there's a crack going down that way because the wood was so soft. Left it alone. Not even gonna. I'm not gonna touch it. Not gonna touch it. But as you can kind of see, it's also underneath the pick guard. So here's the pick guard, and there's the crack. So like Joe has Joe Souza has seen it, and he's like, "Oh, just don't even worry about it." But it's because the wood is so soft that it's just like my normal kind of wear and tear and abuse while playing was a little bit too much for this instrument, and that's why I rarely take this one out, because it's so it's on a softer side.
It's sensitive.
Yeah, it's a sensitive uke. But this uke, this is what we call the bridge wood. This is from like an old bridge in NorCal that Joe Souza secured like a log of, not a log, but just like a few sets of, and this is one of maybe 5-6 sets that he has. I think Chris Salvador has one. I think Tracy Terada, they just did a feature on him. I think he has one, and maybe one other person has like this top. But because it's so good, because it's so soft, and it resonates, and I love this one. But I was using this one for a little bit while my while my spruce top was out. And even then, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know about playing this so much. Yeah, but anyway, so I would leave it alone, is what I would say. Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Mike, what do
and
you
then
say?
if it is
I mean,
broken, then maybe get a
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
To look at it. Yeah. Don't
I
glue.
mean, if you're-
Don't just
if-
never
don't
glue
do it
stuff.
yourself.
Yeah, don't glue stuff.
Yeah, don't do it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you notice like you're playing it and you literally hear like a buzz or a rattle because the pieces are so far apart, like that they're rattling each other. You honestly, unless you're a professional luthier or something like that, you're not going to be able to fix it right anyway. So take it to somebody like that.
Yeah.
Because if it's cracked that badly, they're probably going to want to pull the top off and, glue it the right way to make it structurally sound.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting at home, you're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I saw some TikToks where they put glue and they put ramen in the crack and then they sanded it down.
It's a little bit of
I can do it. I think I can do it, Mike.
some lemon
Hey,
peels
now,
and
I'm
star
telling you,
anise.
If I find ever like a junky ukulele that has a big thing like that ramen hack is gonna get tested. But we're talking like under $100 piece of junk ukulele.
But it has to be like a specific kind. It has to be Sapporo Ichiban and not top ramen.
Oh, absolutely.
So it has to be
no.
specific.
And make sure you
You
pour,
want structural rigidity. I'm not being silly here.
Yeah.
you gotta pour the spice pack too in with the glue.
Yeah.
Has
Otherwise,
to be chicken
High
flavor.
starch content.
Yeah.
That's the finish color.
yeah.
Chicken flavor, not beef. So anyway,
Okay.
so last
Okay,
question.
what's the other question?
So Uking Lady asked about these chords that shoot, who did she say?
Abe.
Abe. It's in Abe's book.
Okay.
And she asked if they're extended chords. Can you read this, Mike?
Oh yeah.
What is the question?
Or can you read these chords?
Can I read them?
Yeah, I don't want to read them wrong.
A C major 7 9,
Nine, yeah.
an A minor 7 11, D minor 7 9, and a G 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What does she want to know about them?
She just asked if they're considered extended chords. So I guess
Yeah,
yeah,
anything beyond 3 notes is an extended chord.
so like even would you say that dominant 7 is the extended chord?
That would be considered an
Yeah.
extension.
Yeah.
Now, most people tend to think, I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, obviously. Some people do tend to think that anything beyond the basic 3-note triadic chord is an extended chord. If you ask maybe someone who plays a little bit more harmonically sophisticated music, maybe anything beyond a 7th chord would be considered an extended chord. As soon as you get to 9ths, 11ths.
Because you're extending the
But-
scale out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but honestly, I would just say anything beyond the basic triad 3-note chord is an extended chord. Yeah.
If you talk to somebody and you say like, "Oh, play this extended chord," they'll know what it means, right? Like if you're just
Well, yeah, I mean, if you say play an extended chord, they'll be like, okay, which
Which
one out
one?
of the 20 billion out
Yeah.
there? But yeah, I mean, I would probably say if you take it to any musician and say, oh, C minor 7 9 with a 9, is that an extended chord? Most of them say, yeah, that's what we call it. But the truth is, thinking of that in terms of, I guess the question would be, why would there's no reason that you should need to really think too hard on that. It's more important to actually learn the chord itself than a terminology for what that chord, that, because extended chord, it means so many things that it's better just learn the chords yourselves, than worry about them. Oh, it's an extended or not extended, because that's not really going to give you much information anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ukulele only has 4 strings, really.
Yeah. So you have
Right.
room
So
for
you
one
have your-
extension.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
But then
you
you
could
can omit.
omit
Yeah, you can
one,
omit some stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
so
triad.
within jazz, the way you think about it is, as long as you have the 3rd note and the 7th note, generally in jazz, that defines a chord enough to give you the chord quality. So then you do have room for 2 more. So you could fit a 9th and 11th, or an 11th and a 13th, whatever. And that's mostly, for anybody who's going to ask this question, it's because the 3rd and the 7th are the only 2 notes in a chord that change every single time the chord quality changes. One of those 2 will change. So like the root of a chord is never going to change because obviously if you change the root, you've changed the chord. The fifth note is not going to change until you all get all the way to half diminished or augmented, which means that major, minor, dominant seventh, that note is not, so it's not a good anchor to use. Whereas if you have the third and the seventh note, they will change every time you move through one alteration. And therefore, the relationship between those two notes will always give you an anchor to work from.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. See, that's what we expect from somebody in the hot seat. Okay. All right, Aaron. So take some notes from
probably
Mike.
shouldn't put me there then.
All right, Kahai. All right, so when Kahai is on the hot seat next, that's the kind of answers we're looking for. Okay.
Yeah, next time.
Next
I
time,
like
Kahai.
if I'm gonna be on the hot seat, I want the FBI mosaic blur on me the entire time. The filter.
Yeah, the voice changer.
Extension chords are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any last minute businesses we need to tend to before we go?
I was gonna bring up that the last time we had the podcast, we set a songwriting challenge.
Yes.
And I set the deadline for the challenge to be the 28th, but like our schedule is a little bit different now.
Yeah.
And I think like so the next podcast we have is gonna be the 21st, which might be a little early for people. So I was thinking about pushing back the deadline to like somewhere in mid-May because we're gonna have Sammy too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have Sammy that day. So, by the way, once again, reminder: May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 11 a.m. Hawaii time for the podcast. That's 2 hours earlier. Just making sure you guys know this. 2 hours earlier for the podcast, just to accommodate our UK friend Sammy Turton. But you know what? I mean, if this works out, this actually opens the door to a lot more guests because I have lots of like UK ukulele friends. Like Dead Man's Uke, who we have Ukulele Zaza and all those people that I would love to have on the podcast.
Yeah.
If this works out, I would love to have them on as well. So this is maybe just a nice little trial just to see if we get enough people, to come down. If there's enough buzz, if the episode turns out well, then I'll definitely see if I can invite more of my over the pond friends. I guess 2 ponds over because we're in the middle of this pond.
Well, technically 1 if you go the other way.
I guess so, yeah. But then you gotta go to Asia, and that's a whole thing. Okay, so once again, May 5th, 11 a.m. Mark your calendars. Don't be like, oh, I didn't know or whatever. I didn't know Aldrine was going to be sick. So mark your calendars, May 5th, 11 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Okay, and as per usual, if you guys want to buy an ukulele on the island of Kauai, Mike, where can they find you?
I'm at Scotty's Music House in Lihue. Just find the Walmart, and there's only one.
Scotty's
right
Music
across
House.
the street.
Right across the street.
Yeah. List some of the names of ukulele brands that you carry so that people are like, oh, I thought you had this.
Well, we are currently carrying Kala, Leolani, and in our Hawaiian made, we have Kamaka, Kanilea, and Island Ukulele.
Nice. No koalas anymore.
No Kalohas anymore. Although we've been looking back into it. Looking back into it.
Huh? No, I mean, just...
And we're also... without and we also recently have started talking with Hug ukuleles.
Oh, Hug.
Yeah.
Tell us about Hug.
It's a pretty new company, at least to me. So I've only been researching it now. It's a guy on the Big Island, and it's very similar to a lot of other brands where it's a guy who's been in the business a long time. He kind of has his idea about what a good ukulele should be, how to design one. He is contracted with overseas builders to build what he needs.
Yeah, okay. Well, but if you don't want to go all the way to the island of Kauai to go pick up a ukulele personally from Mike, you can always go to shop.ukuleleunderground.com, shop.ukuleleunderground.com. You'll find ukuleles there. You can find Islander ukuleles. You can find Kanilea ukuleles. If you guys want one of these Aldrine Guerrero models with the slotted headstock
Well,
that
not
we're talking
that one.
about. Oh yeah, maybe not this one, but we have We have master grade cool ones, okay? So don't even fear. We got some beautiful ones out there. There's one, I believe that's like, it's kind of this dark chocolate looking one, that's in there, or I think is either in the Ukulele store when I was last there. But there's some nice ones that I'm like, whoa, maybe it can go to my closet, But there's some great ones, okay? There's some master grade Koa Aldrine ukuleles over at shop.ukuleunderground.com. If you're like, well, I want one that I can start with. We have Islander ukuleles, including some the Planet Tree model, which gets you an ukulele, gets you a case, gets you a tuner, and gets you and actually plants a tree over on the big island of Hawaii. Okay, so and Hawaii Island. Kanilea has a ranch up there, the Nani Ekoli Ranch, and they do some reforestation, and they plant a koa tree for every Islander ukulele that they sell. So give it back. Don't just take koa, Mike.
I want the new sales pitch for the planetary. It's like, it'll get you a uke, it'll get you a case, it'll get you a tuner, and it'll get you a tree, your own personal tree.
Yeah, if you plant a tree under your, with your purchase, you get, I believe, like the coordinates of like where the tree is planted. It's kind of cool. I have one, and I got to plant a tree one for my daughters. So like each one of my daughters has a tree planted for them. It's because I know like they'll grow up and they're like, Dad, I want this uke or whatever. So, we gave back.
Hey. What about your son?
Oh.
Do you not have a planetary for your son?
For you? That's right. Oh my God. Continuity. I love it. I love the continuity. Sorry, son. Daddy had to go out to go buy a pack of smokes and never came back to the office in 2 weeks.
My dad said he was gonna buy a tree for me and he never came back.
Oh man,
that's what your daughter's gonna say. Dad, I don't want the ukulele. I want the tree.
Go visit the tree. Here's the coordinates. Go look at it. Go. You can hug it, lick it, whatever you want. You can look at it. Go. Here's the keys. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you guys want to check that out, and we have tons of other ukuleles available at shop.ukuleunderground.com. You guys can always ask for some special ones if you guys are looking for something that isn't listed or isn't there. You guys can always make some special requests. You're like, I want a Aldrine Guerrero ukulele, but I want it exactly like his, with the spruce top, the Brazilian rosewood back and sides, with the true relief, with the bevel and all that stuff. You know what? You can get that. Like just go make an inquiry over at shop.ukuleunderground.com. I mean, if you're whatever your heart desires, as long as you can afford it, I guess that's the thing.
That's gonna be a big one part of it.
I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't have them. I'm not saying that I'm the only one who can have this. It's open to everybody. It's not like.
Also depends on whether he's got the wood or not, because that's that back inside is it's a rare commodity.
No, I think like Auntie Lena was teasing some sets like on either she was or Kaimana. Somebody posted like a few months back on the Kanilea Facebook page of like, oh, we got some like sets of Brazilian rosewood. I've seen some Brazilian rosewood sets there, and you can get it. It's not cheap, but like they're there though. So if you want a Brazilian rosewood spruce top, like bevel and true relief and slotted headstock and Gilbert tuners, you can bling it out as much as you want. But yeah, shop.ukuleunderground.com. You can also buy
butler that comes with it.
You can also buy shirts. I believe shirts are available at shop.ukuleunderground.com. You can get that strumming course that we talked about with Matt over at shop.ukuleunderground.com. And many others. So make sure you check it out, shop.ukuleunderground.com. And if you're like, I just want to learn how to play ukulele, go to ukuleleunderground.com, ukuleleunderground.com. Sign up for UU Plus. I will personally teach you how to play the ukulele. How about that? It's a guarantee, Mike. It's a guarantee. I'll guarantee personally teach you how to play the ukulele.
It is actually a selling point I use all the time when I hand out your stickers.
Yeah, it's up to you.
You can learn from that guy.
It is up to you to put the work and to actually learn the instrument stuff, but I will personally help you. Please try to learn the instrument, I will be there. Now I've taught thousands of people at this point, Mike. So I'm pretty confident in my teaching skills, I think.
I would be too.
I Have a great one, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Don't get sick. Mind the weather, everybody. Aloha.
Stay out of the rain.